Welcome back, everyone, to the live coverage of YCS Birmingham 2025. I'm joined by the one and only Jack Rory Steenkamer, a.k.a. Quantel. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great.
Fantastic. And we are here to talk a little bit about the new deck, or somewhat new deck, the Ryzeal strategy. As this is the first European YCS where the Ryzeal deck actually is being played, of course, we wanted to showcase it a little bit more and show some generic combos. So, as a general statement, what do you think why this deck right now is being played so much and why is it so popular in the community right now?
I mean, Ryzeal is just a really consistent deck.
Yeah.
Does the same thing every game. Well-positioned metagame. Doesn't unaffected by bestials.
True.
And Shifter is fine.
Sounds about right. So let's see what this deck does so consistently, because we are going to look at a combo right now. So let's go into the top-down view and let's have a look. And I think you're going to show us a one-card combo of this deck, right?
A simple one-card combo.
Sounds good.
Start with X, the best starter. Plays around full, lost the best. So simple. Summon X.
Yeah, okay, so
twins.
Exactly. So for the people that are maybe completely new to this deck,
yes.
So X Ryzeal, it's just, it doesn't even activate in the hand, right?
No.
It's just a special summon.
It just special summons by sending a Xyz from the extra deck to the grave.
Yeah.
So on field. So for example, going second, you could send an aggregator.
True, true.
So you can chain link one aggregate XX to search a fire thunder.
True. And
chain to aggregate a target opposed monster. But in this case, we're going first, so we want to set up as much versatility and follow up.
Fair, fair.
So we'll special X sending Eclipse Twins.
New card from Supreme Darkness, nice.
Very good card. So here we would use the XX to add a Fire Thunder.
All right, go ahead.
So we add Sword Ryzeal. So next, also, if you have a Ryzeal in the field or grave, you can special summon it from hand.
That's pretty easy to reach, honestly.
Quite simple. Sword adds a Light Pyro to hand from the deck. They all act similarly to the Sprite archetype.
I was about to say that. It feels a little bit like Sprite. And honestly, with Sprite, I personally always had the problem. I was asking myself, where do I interact with the deck? Like, do I just go after the first thing they do, or do I wait for a specific point? Do you think it's worth just going after the X, just going after the first thing the Ryzeal deck does?
There's too many. It's the issue of the Ryzeal cards are all extenders.
Yeah.
So if you interrupt with the X, I am not committing my normal summon yet.
True, yeah.
So if I have a full loss in hand, I can just simply normal summon it and make it do
level 4, true.
And then make a rank 4. So you usually want to interrupt a different card this deck.
Tell us later then, yeah, for sure.
So here you sword. Add ice.
Sure, don't worry.
So here you add ice, another powerful starter.
Very much.
We'll mention what it does later.
Absolutely. Okay, so
next,
there's a rank 4 now.
We make the first rank 4 Ryzeal Duo Drive. So on summon, you can usually attach a Ryzeal monster from the graveyard to its as a material.
Yeah.
And like Galactic Sprite, as an effect, as a card effect, it detaches 2 from Xyz monsters on your field.
Yes.
To search 2 Ryzeal cards.
That's pretty good.
So here you use the Duo Drive to detach 2. And you search, usually, Cross and Plugin. Yeah. The usual targets. So Cross is the Ryzeal's best field spell. It lets you play around hand traps. Yeah. If you have a material under a Ryzeal monster, you can, on resolution of the card chain.
That's so new and so unique about it. That's true, yeah. Because
it is important that your opponent won't know immediately on activation if you have a response to it.
Yes.
So I have to wait until the chain starts resolving, and then you can apply the cross.
This is so good because you can just basically say, oh yeah, this chain link to somewhere in the chain we just formed, that one I'm going to negate, which is pretty insane, of course. And also, you mentioned this being similar to Gigantic Sprite. It also is, like the whole thing also is kind of similar in that it does lock you into just rank 4s for the rest of the turn. I think the first thing immediately just was X saying that, right?
Yes, X. Yeah. So all of the Ryzeal's summoning mechanics of summoning from hand.
Yes.
When you're special summoning from hand, all lock you into rank 4s from the extra deck. Yeah. Which is important to note.
For sure. But that's a rank 4, so we're fine for now.
we're not really getting out of the rank 4s. It's fine.
All right.
So next, we have not used our normal summon yet, so we can here normal summon Ice Ryzeal.
Yes.
And on normal summon, it lets you just special summon a Ryzeal from your deck.
All right. Sounds good.
Quite good.
Absolutely.
So in this case, you usually summon Ryzeal Node.
Okay.
Which on the field can send a
go ahead.
Can send a card from the field to the grave and target a Ryzeal monster in the grave and reborn it.
Okay.
Someone's negated, but still good. And here, this is our 5th summon, by the way.
Ooh.
So if our opponent were to attempt to Nibiru the Primal Being
That's a
us
good point, yeah.
right now, what you can simply do is chain plug-in. Usually you want to target a non-light monster because of
to
the
play around
Bestial.
Bestials, I see, yeah.
So that you play around Bestial and Nib. So you target Sword. The power part with it is plug-in is not only a reborn.
Yeah.
It also, if you have a Ryzeal monster...
An Exceed monster, right? Yeah.
Ryzeal Exceed monster... Or no, rather, just Exceed monster in general.
Yes, yes.
You can attach a Ryzeal from your deck to as a material. So here, I simply...
Let's grab any of them,
Well,
right?
let's get any of them.
Yeah.
Let's attach Ext.
Sure.
So now, on resolution of
Oh, you
the
mentioned
chain,
it, yeah.
on the Nib, I can apply Cross to detach from Duo Drive and negate the Nibiru.
As a response, that's so, like, honestly, no deck had that previously, right? Of course, there was cards like Cross or Designated that could just immediately counter it, but this way it's just so unique and so good in countering. Your opponent doesn't even necessarily know. In this case, you searched for plugin, but you could also just have the plugin hard drawn in hand and surprise your opponent with that.
Yes.
So it's really, really tough to counter for sure.
I mean, certain other Ryzeal decks would usually send another Duo Drive, so the Duo Drive would have attached it, so it still has a material.
It always will have a material, true, yeah.
So you can always make sure if your Duo Drive resolves, that you would have a reliable way to play through Nibiru.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's no actual hand trap that applies with Nibiru that can stop you from getting Nib.
Yeah, that's fair.
So in this case, you would Xyz the Sword and Ice into your boss monster.
Oh, yeah.
Ryzeal Detonator, which on summon lets you attach any monster from your graveyard. So the previous X-Send here,
that's where
Eclipse
we started,
Twins,
yeah.
let you attach it to it as material.
Yeah.
And Eclipse Twins...
Explain to us why this card right now is so important to the Ryzeal strategy.
So when this card goes to the graveyard, it can target 2 other rank 4s in the graveyard and summon one of them and attach the other one as material.
Yeah.
So in this case, in a second, we're about to use Node Effect to send the Duo Drive to the graveyard for one of our rank 4s for Eclipse Twin in a second.
Yeah.
So we revive X here. So once your opponent tries to, for example, imperm the Detonator, you can hypothetically Detonator effect target itself to destroy itself.
That sounds so counterintuitive, but yeah, go ahead.
And then, because Eclipse Twin goes to graveyard and there's 2 rank 4s with the Detonator and the Duo Drive, you can revive the Detonator, attaching Duo Drive. And because it's your opponent's turn usually, it's a new turn, so the Detonator can activate again to attach another monster to it.
Ooh,
so you could attach another Eclipse Twins, and if it stays on the field with the Eclipse Twins, you could do on your turn again.
All over again. Yeah,
So
that's the good thing about Detonator, because it does not say on its Exceed summon it could do that, but just on a special summon of itself, right? Yeah,
on
that's really,
any
really
special
cool.
summon.
Sure.
On its own special summon, yes.
Yeah.
So here we have 2 extra bodies. We have a lot of versatility here. Usually, if your opponent is playing a graveyard deck, which, for example, is a Mitsurigi or a Murmel,
True.
You would here be able to make, for example, a Abyss Dweller.
Super popular right now, that's true.
Other options in the pure version are, if you have no non-engine, you could opt to go for a Dugares, the Timeless.
Oh, yeah, to just draw more cards and maybe see those non-engine cards.
Yes.
I see.
So in that case, you could get a Book of Moon or a Book of Eclipse.
Even Solemn Strike is popular in this deck. Yeah, that's crazy.
So this deck relies on a lot of its non-engines.
Yeah.
So cards like Dugares are very versatile in making sure that your board is not able to be outed by just one singular card.
For sure.
So this is just a powerful board. In itself, Detonator is a non-once per turn. In response to any card effect from your opponent, you can simply detach a material and target a card on the field in general.
On the field even, yeah.
And destroy it.
Yeah.
So on your opponent's turn, you end with 3 Detonator activations, which could technically be more if you choose to Detonator target itself with Eclipse Twins. So you get in total 1 extra. So 4 if you're feeling like
If you're
popping
feeling
itself.
like it, for sure, yeah.
Cross lets you, if you want, detach your material from any Ryzeal XCs, like earlier with the Nibiru.
Yeah.
So when your opponent activates a normal summon ice, you could choose to detach with cross and negate it.
Absolutely.
So yes, that's the first turn combo.
Deck, for sure.
And also, before I forget, cross has another effect because we have a X'd and we have 2 Ryzeals in grave and Ryzeal cards, which is very important. You can target the plugin and X'd to place these 2 onto the bottom of the deck and draw if
this card would not only already be good enough with the other effect it has, right? But that's
already
really,
good
really
enough.
good.
Yeah, it's already good enough to play around the Biru or any hand trap in general.
Then it's an interruption on your opponent's turn, and then also it's giving you more cards in your hand. That's pretty good.
So you have practically a infinite grind game.
Yeah.
Because of just shuffling it all back, drawing a card. It's a mini pot of avarice.
Yeah, it really is. It's really, really cool. So overall, as you said, this deck just really, really profits off of being so consistent. Because let's face it, all you need for a detonator at the end of the day is just 2 level 4 monsters. So even if your opponent interrupts you and just keeps on going after your cards, you can just go for detonator. So probably, generally saying, against the Ryzeal deck itself, cards against the detonator when it's already on the field is probably they're more valuable, right? Because you can't really stop it getting to the field, so you rather want to deal with it with cards like Ultimate Slayer, Infinite Impermanence sometimes even, or something like that, right?
A lot of people will be playing a Meltronis,
That's also
for example,
pretty good for it as
playing
well.
their own detonator, for example, to special detonator and banish it.
Yeah.
Getting rid of the cross negate and also all detonator activations.
True, very true.
So usually people are opting to, instead of hand traps, which cannot always be guaranteed to deal with the detonator, board breakers, field breakers, such as
the Slayer, maybe just a Book of Moon or those cards. Book of Eclipse. Those are really, really good.
So any way to deal with the detonator works.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so thank you so much for explaining all those things about the Ryzeal deck. I am sure we are going to see Ryzeal in the top cut of YCS Birmingham and maybe even in the finals. It definitely has the potential to do so. Maybe you're going to be there with the deck. We will see in the event. But for sure, thank you so much for watching this little explanation about the Ryzeal deck. And we're going over for more live coverage of YCS Birmingham.